Well, Blue Raider Nation, we are here with head coach Derek Mason as we are talking about some spring football with spring here and just gearing up for all the new faces that we have, whether it be from our coaching staff to simply some new guys on the roster who we're seeing going to be making a difference. Now we're going to be switching it to our staff and just kind of the new faces. Maybe we've been transitioning some guys to different positions to best fit the system that you are wanting. So I know that I've had the opportunity and the privilege to talk to already our new offensive coordinator, Anthony and also our O-line coach, Christopher Brown. So just kind of talk to me about what you saw from those men to bring them here in the blue and white, and also just kind of the transition of some coaches moving on to different titles.
Yeah, when you look at Selfo, right, he's confident, sort of cocky. When you first meet him, I think he comes across as, a former quarterback. He's got that pedigree in him. He's a coach's kid. He's been around the game a long time. He comes from a long lineage of coaches, and I think for him, he's had a chance to sort of sharpen his knives a little bit as he was in Southeast Louisiana, and his dad made him get it the hard way. His dad sat him down and made him do all the grunt work and then made him rise through it. And I think, through that, man, he sees football through a different lens. He was raised in it. He traveled through it. He played in it. And now he's raising his family in it. And for him, man, he's a great X and O guy, but he's extremely confident in what he knows, but really how he goes about his business in terms of what he believes. He believes in a physical offense. He believes in this idea, man, that it starts up front, and he wants to score points. So that's a great mix for me, right? So I like that. And then with Chris Brown, we moved in a direction with Chris where he's been, Iowa, Arkansas. He's been under some of the sort of pillars of offensive line play in college football, whether we're talking about, what they do at Iowa or whether we're talking about what Coach Pittman, brought to that Arkansas team, right? I mean, he brought the pigs back. And I think just having had his own room and NFL experiences, I think, for him, he's a go-getter. I mean, his energy is off the chain, and he's a demander. He's a teacher, he's a leader, he's an educator, and I think in that space they feel his energy. So we're going to go the way he goes, and I think he knows the way to go, and that's forward, straight ahead, okay, with a nasty disposition. So that's what we're going to be, nasty, physical, with a bad disposition.
Awesome. Now, when we're talking about Coach Calvin Lowry, he was the running backs coach last year. Now he has moved to outside receivers. Right. You've elevated Coley Crowley to inside receivers. So kind of talk to us about that dynamic of what was going through your mind of just, again, the switching and also just adding another element of coaching when it comes to your receivers.
Yeah, I put Coach Lowry in that master class of coaches. He can coach anything. I mean, he's played it all. He played in the secondary, played in the NFL, as a secondary guy, obviously played at Penn State. But master coaches can coach anything, right? They listen to the philosophy, and they can coach a needle out of a haystack, right? And that's what he can do. I mean, he got that room over the last 2 years, the running back room, to be physical. And when I looked at our receiver play, man, it was just loss in production. And I thought that's what we had done in the last 2 years at the running back position. Man, we have started to maximize the potential of that room, whether it was young player development or whether it was, veterans playing well. And we need that in the receiver room. Coley Crowley, was elevated because he did a really good job towards the end of the season of managing, a tough room. Receivers and DBs, man, they have mixed personality. It's a mixed bag, right? Some want to be prima donnas, others want the ball, others, want to be seen all the time. And so, having inside and outside receiver coaches, to me, allows that group to be addressed at every level. Whether we talk about the production, the style of play, we needed master teachers, master motivators, and master teachers. And I believe that's what we got with those two. That's a great mixture. When you talk about 14 guys in a room, they've got two coaches to learn from, and 4 eyes are better than 2.
You added also Joe Gans to quarterbacks coach, and you, like what we were mentioning, you added someone else for the running backs coach, and then certain things that you've done, again, for the offensive side of things. So kind of tell me more about those dynamics as well.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go back and let's take a look at Coach Gans, right? Coach Gans, played quarterback in Nebraska and was sort of an underdog at Nebraska who became, a top dog in that position. So he knows how to battle through it. I think having, learned other positions and worked with those positions, and now getting back to the quarterback a role a little bit, it gives Coach Selfo a chance to move around as a walk-around coordinator and who's immersed in quarterbacks, but the day-to-day, is going to be handled a lot by, Coach Gantz in terms of, the fundamentals and what we do and really how those guys get through practices and how they get coached. Then when you start to look at Al Pori with the running backs, Coach Pori, man, he's coming from the CFL, but was also at Southeast Louisiana, and this dude, man, is emphatically a teacher. I mean, he's a perfectionist, man. He's a fundamentalist. He knows what he wants. He's played his college ball at a high level, and then he gets a chance to work from the ground up, and he's been at big schools. And now, man, he's coming from the CFL, a place where the field is a little wider, okay, in terms of what it looks like. The game is a little different with the ball being in the air. But I think that sort of accentuates some of the skill set needed for our running backs. Catching the ball is an art and skill, right? I mean, if you're a good running back, you can naturally run. That's why you're here. But it's all the things that you don't do. You got to play without the ball, like a little bit. Whether we're talking about blocking or catching, that's part of it. And just looking at where we needed to go, I thought that was super important. And then we ended this thing with really Ross Jenkins, who has been a mainstay in special teams, but people underestimate his ability to coach tight ends. He's another former quarterback, man, who's made his hay with special teams and tight ends, and I think his experiences, as a coordinator, lend itself to that room, because I think that room has got to be all things. Tight ends nowadays are Swiss Army knives. They got to be able to do a lot of things, and I think he brings that element to what we do. So that's how the offensive staff rounds out.
Well, with the offensive staff, there's a key word that I've continued to hear out of their mouths is the word strain. Yeah. That's been a major component that they are wanting to instill in your players. So from your perspective, how important do you think it is to make sure that you are implementing that?
Yeah, the strain piece is a part of what you have to do. It was great watching college football this year, and then being able to watch Indiana, finish. I think when you saw Fernando make that last touchdown, men score. I mean, it was strained. Yeah. I mean, he had to make some people miss, and then he put it on the line, and I think that's what it is. That's what football comes down to. I mean, you have to have this ability, this will to compete, okay, and give everything that you got, and sort of leave exhausted, right? And so the strain piece is what's needed and necessary. It's really the price of admission now. It's not just playing the game. Anybody can play the game, but do you strain? Because if you do, you got a chance.